Hello everyone, welcome to Crypto Slash, a YouTube channel that educates you in your crypto journey. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do not forget to subscribe. In my previous video, we talked about stats-based racing and the insights from 500,000 plus data points. The video was taken well by the viewers, and as requested by them, I have put together a comprehensive analysis on genetic breeding in this video. In this video, we will be discussing what genetic breeding actually means, how stats are impacted, and how we should strategize to take this into account. Before a week, the PEGAXY team announced that moving forward, breeding will be based on genes and not random, which was the case before. But they haven't clarified the underlying formula behind it. I wouldn't complain because that's part of the game. Even games like Axie Infinity has some unknown element into its breeding. For this analysis, I have collected breeding data of over 40,000 breeds that took place since genetic breeding began. This represents around 50% of all the breeds since then, till the time the video was recorded. So I believe that the findings are fully representative of the whole picture behind the scenes. Unsurprisingly, the cross-bloodline breeds constitute only 10% of the dataset, which implies that it's not something the players are very keen on. And as we should expect, horse plus horse breeds are 50% of the dataset due to its sheer population. Now let's cut to the chase. In essence, your newborn PEGA stats are an average of their parents' stats with an element of randomness. This trend is observed across the board, across bloodlines, across breed types, and even across genders, although there are some very small differences across bloodlines, which we will talk about later. Now, let's talk about the random part here. When we look at how the random value is distributed, we can see that it follows a normal curve, a standard statistical distribution curve. It looks like the team has adopted a normal equation for this component so that there is a thrill element in this. Now, what does this curve mean? Well, the x-axis refers to the random component and y-axis is the frequency of data points with that random value. As you can see, the random component is situated very closer to 0 for most of the data points. To be exact, we can say that 70% of the data points lie within the range of plus or minus 1 stat from 0. There is a chance that the random component is as low as -4 or as high as +6, as you can see in this chart. So do not be shocked if sometimes you get a newborn PEGA with a completely different stat from its parent, because that might happen if you are unlucky. So to summarize, if the stats of your parent PEGAs are 4 and 8 respectively, for example, then there is a 70% probability that the newborn PEGA stats lie between 5 and 7. 5 and 7 refers to the fact that it's plus or minus 1 with respect to the average of 6. But do not forget that it also means there is a 30% chance that it could be below 5 or above 7 too. Now, when we double click on how this trend evolves across bloodlines, it is very clear that it doesn't vary at all, especially for same bloodline breeds. But for cross bloodline breeds, there are some very minor differences, but I would not conclude strongly due to the limited data points available. In order to prove this finding, I have gathered an example for you. These two parents were bred 5 times over the past week. The PEGAs are very high win rate meta PEGAs. If you're still figuring out to understand how stats impact your win rates, then watch my previous video in the link above. Now coming back to the topic, as you can see, all the 5 newborn PEGAs had different stats, but all the stats were surrounding the average of the parent PEGA stats. For example, the average speed stat is around 8 for the parents, while for the newborns they range from 5.5 to 9, but of course oscillating around the average of 8. On the other hand, the average strength stat is around 1.5 for the parents, while for the newborns they range somewhere between 0.6 to 3.9, oscillating around 1.5. As you can notice, the random component has been concentrated within the zero figure as we discussed before, and luckily all the 5 breeds listed here didn't have any random component that was abnormal in magnitude. I also experimented this for my own stable and I observed similar results. You can also check your results for the breedings. Now some people ask, if they breed 2 bad Pegas, then will they get a bad Pega? Well, the answer is no, because by the logic of averages, the average stat Pega could have a combination of attributes making it a meta Pega. And the same logic applies to breeding 2 good Pegas. Don't expect the new Pega to also perform well. It could completely turn around. So what's the best strategy moving forward, you may ask? Well, my strategy at least is to identify the right meta combinations, ideally well-performing Pegas that have similar stat composition, very similar to the example we just discussed, and keep breeding them so that I increase my meta Pega stable. If my bad Pegas don't fit in this strategy, then I would consider burning them for a rare one. This is exactly how I am going to execute. Well, if you have any other thoughts or any other strategies, then do comment below to share your thoughts. I would also like to conclude by saying that I really adore what the PEGAXY team has strategized and strongly believe that it's for the best as part of the plan to move towards a skill-based gameplay. They implemented stats-based racing first to differentiate between good and bad Pegas. Then they implemented genetic breeding to let players try out breeding Pegas to generate good Pegas. Finally, they are giving an opportunity for players to burn bad Pegas and transition into a tier mechanism with a permanent burning mechanism in place. The final piece of the skill-based gameplay would be introducing food and stadium selection, which I believe would be coming soon too. That's it for today, guys. Hope the analysis helped you more to understand about the breeding mechanism. If you like the video, then do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you and goodbye.